I'm kind of feeling a little bit of a prospect vibe. Let's talk more about Cole Caufield. My most recent video about Caufield goes over the timeline and what Caufield said himself as to when he wants to join the Montreal Canadiens. Spoiler alert, he wants to do that at the end of the year if the Habs make the playoffs. However, let's talk more about Caufield because recently, the University of Wisconsin's own little scrimmage game just finished up. Team Red versus Team White, teams do this at the start of the year. There was free admission for all those on the University of Wisconsin campus to go watch this game live at the Cole Center, and it was a pretty interesting game. Cole Caufield was on Team Red, and in this game, Team Red actually lost 10-5, and then if you include the shootout, which for some reason the University of Wisconsin Twitter account did, they lost 13-7. So out of these 5 goals scored in the game, Cole Caufield, he had a hat trick. Yeah. Cole Caufield is at it again, folks, and he's out here doing his thing. Now, the live video actually doesn't exist for this game because it is just a scrimmage. It's not really a super special event that the Wisconsin Badgers were doing, so they just have the goal updates and stuff on their Twitter account, so it's all here online. Let's just read some of these Twitter posts here. Caufield's first on the game was a goal that helped Team Red itch their way back into the game. It was 4-1 for Team White. Caufield scored on the power play on a one-timer to bring the score back up to 4-2. Then, Caufield's second goal of the game was a response goal. Pelton Beist made it 9-3 for the White team, but then Cole Caufield responded to make it 9-4 on the power play as well. And then, on the 3-on-3 overtime period, Cole Caufield scored a goal to bring things up 9-5, and then Team White responded, it was 10-5. So Cole Caufield gets himself a hat trick in this University of Wisconsin exhibition game, and Caufield definitely just totally did his thing out there. Let's go over to one of these articles. This is on Madison.com. So obviously it's talking about Madison, Wisconsin. This is a local journalistic output here. There's an article talking about the decorated freshman class for the Wisconsin Badgers, and right there in the picture, it's Cole Caufield. Scrolling down throughout the article, it goes really in depth with Dylan Holloway, Turcotte, and Caufield because, they're the freshmen of the Wisconsin Badgers this year. And really, really interesting things coming along here. It actually talks about in the article how Cole Caufield is probably the guy who is getting the most attention out of all of this. This entire process with new rookies and new young studs has Cole Caufield being the one who has the spotlight here. Not because he was the highest draft pick. That honor belongs to Alex Turcotte, and to be fair, Turcotte was probably a better pick at that spot than Caufield was. But Cole Caufield is here. He's been the main attraction just from everything that we've seen online. Even here, take a look at this. This is the Wisconsin State Journal. This is their little newspaper over there. And it talks about the Wisconsin Badgers 1920 preview. The big picture here is literally just Cole Caufield, and he's the main headline. High-scoring Cole Caufield heads the talented, deep incoming class. So yeah, there isn't even any mention of Holloway or Turcotte in this front page, which I think is kind of whack, but Cole Caufield is the main attraction here, and it makes sense. I mean, Turcotte, I think, is the better overall player than Caufield, but Caufield is the better goal scorer. That's pretty much it. And when it comes to hockey, you're scoring goals, that's how you win games. And the guys who can score the most goals are usually the guys who have the most attention. So big apologies to Alex Turcotte for not being a super flashy goal scorer like Cole Caufield is. I think he's still going to have a greatly impressive freshman year. Same thing with Dylan Holloway. Same thing with a few of the other freshmen that they have in their system, because they do have a few guys who look like they could be really, really impactful. Turcotte is a guy who really was the best center on the US NTDP aside Jack Hughes. Dylan Holloway was the Canadian Junior Player of the Year last year in Junior A hockey for Okotoks, and Vorlicky was a guy who won the Minnesota High School State Championship the previous year. So really, the Badgers have so many awesome freshmen. If it were up to me, I think Turcotte probably has around the same amount of points as Caufield, if not maybe just a little bit more, because I see his playmaking really taking him over the edge. But you could really just say Caufield is going to have much more goals, and as a result, he'll have more points than Turcotte. That's a fair perspective too. As for Holloway, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't a point per game, because he was really good in the AJHL last year, but the transition from Junior A in Canada to the NCAA is kind of difficult for some, so I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, if Holloway does get up to a point per game, that would be really cool too, and I would be really accepting of that, because Holloway having a good draft year just means that he goes higher in the draft. I think that's good for everybody, because Holloway to me is a legit top 12 talent. But as for Caufield, we already talked about it before. Some people are putting that hyperbole on him, saying that he can break the NCAA goal-scoring record. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think the record that has stood for years and years is still going to be there. In fact, if you wanted a little bit of a history lesson, we talked about this before. Let's bring it right back up again. The most goals that have ever been scored in one NCAA season. It was Mike Donnelly, who got 59 goals in 44 games played. Now, I think Caufield is amazing, and I really want Caufield to do well. However, if you go to the NCAA, they only play 30 to 40 games on the year, and no matter what, I don't think Caufield is getting 60 goals in 40 games played, let alone 60 in 30 games played. So, yeah, I think he's going to be good, but not that good. However, the three freshmen are all going to be really nice to see, including Vorlicky as well, so make that fourth freshman: Caufield, Turcotte, Holloway, and Vorlicky. So we will all be definitely looking towards seeing how they're going to do. For the Los Angeles Kings, Alex Turcotte could be probably like the next best two-way center in the league. I think he'll be better than Kotkaniemi for sure, so he's going to be in that conversation. Caufield could be the best goal scorer out of the 2019 draft. I personally believe he is, and we're all going to be looking forward to Caufield because Montreal Canadiens fans are absolutely nuts about this stuff. Even in this Wisconsin State Journal article that we were looking at a while ago, Cole Caufield, this little section over here, talks about how he's attracted the most attention of the bunch due to the hockey mad following of the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's really gonna happen. I think we're going to expect nothing less from the Montreal Canadiens faithful, so I'm pretty sure we're all just looking forward to seeing what's happening next. The University of Wisconsin Badgers season is starting October 11th, and by then, we'll get a real glimpse as to what Cole Caufield is capable of. But for the most part, he's had a pretty good showing thus far. 4 goals in 2 games against UBC, a hat trick against his other University of Wisconsin teammates, and he's the one who's attracting the most attention. This is what Brock Caufield has to say when it comes to Caufield attracting the attention. He's got a good personality for that. He's smiley. He doesn't really love the attention, but he knows how to handle it. So he's a fan favorite already. He's small. He's 5'7". However, he has more goals in the US NTDP in one season than Austin Matthews, and he has more goals in the US NTDP in their entire careers than Phil Kessel. He is the best United States development program goal scorer ever. And we're just looking on if that's gonna